Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our admin day this fall season. Today's class will be featuring rentals and some great information on the Miami Help Desk and some MLS news. My name is Connie Nieto. I'm providing the class today. We will be giving one in Spanish at 1:30 as well. So if you have any colleagues that would be interested, please send them our way. We do have a sponsor with us today from Aslo Title and Trust, and I want to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and give some time to George to take over.
Thank you, Connie. Can you guys see my screen?
Looks great.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is George Asal. I am the managing partner for Aslo Title and Trust, a full-service title company. A little bit about me. I've been in business for 14 years. I actually started in business because I have a bad experience with a realtor. So I decided to take my license and start in real estate. So been in the business for 14 years, 12 years later, I founded Asal Lopez and Associate, which we do have, like I said, the full title service company. I am part of the Florida Realtors director as a for the Miami district, Florida Realtors committee member. Sorry about the dog barking. I'm a Miami Realtor ambassador, a major investor for RPAC, and I do have my certification for the C2EX. My information on the bottom. At Aslo Title and Trust, we try to remove as much as possible the burden from the client and from the agent as possible during the transaction. As a full title service company, we understand the process of buying and selling real estate, and this is why we are here for you guys. Our customer service is the core of what we do. And again, I'm sorry about the barking of the dog. And our staff is ready to help you guys in the process. The services that we provide is real estate, residential closing, commercial closings, refinancing, 1031 exchange, mobile closing, run closing, and short sale processing. We know that Miami Realtors is one of the largest, it's actually the largest association in the US with more than 60,000 agents and 225 organization affiliations with different organizations around the world. I always tell the agents in general is don't forget the golden rule. And I have to cut this very short because the dog is barking. The golden rule, which is treat others as you want to be treated. Thank you guys for having me. Let's create the future together. My information, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out and I'll be here for you guys. Thank you, Connie. Feel better.
Thank you so much for being with us, George. Go ahead and send us your information. We're looking forward to having it.
I will. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I want to share with you that the Miami MLS Help Desk is now working and available. How many of you have ever reached out for help with the MLS? And by the way, the class is small. I'd love for you to interact and ask questions and speak. So you're more than welcome to unmute yourselves. It is about you and us getting together and sharing information. If you click here, I'm going to share with you via the chat. So let me open up my chat. And Andres, I'm so happy I get to see you. I unfortunately don't feel great, but I'll let you have a little peek. I decided not to cancel the class today. I have for the last 3 or 4 years provided classes for admins and tried to get us to have a group. We have a Facebook group. I'll go ahead and share that before we leave. We would really like you to become a part of it and send us questions and your concerns there. I'll share my email and my information as well. The idea is to facilitate to you and give you information that you can use to better assist your agents. Some of you are licensed or unlicensed. That does not matter to us. What we want you is to participate. This is the exception to the rule. We've gone live and in person with all of our classes, but this was one of the ones that we decided not to because we know how vital you are at the offices. So please feel free to ask questions. Now, this area here that I'm sharing with you means that your Miami MLS is now answering questions regarding MLS and expanded hours, right? And not only are they doing that, they are also available, right, in English and in Spanish. So if you did not know and you had questions on changes that needed to be made, information that's need to be provided, etc. And what I'll go ahead and do as well is copy the expanded hours and the email address. Okay, so they're available to you in English and in Spanish, and they're available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2. The idea here is to be available to you and to be able to provide you info, and they've even created a resource center here. Okay, this is the MLS Resource Center, so I'm going to copy and paste that in. I see that George has sent his info as well. Thank you so much, George. Now, for the rest of you, would you mind telling me what offices you're coming from? I see Andres is from Avanti Way. Elizabeth, you? The other participants, anyone? Alrighty, let me see. For Million and Up Realty, First Service, nice. So there's some of you from everywhere, excellent. Now, of course, some of the things I'm going to be sharing, Berkshire Hathaway, thank you, Carlos, is information that's already here. How many of you have visited our MLS page? So you come to miamirealtors.com/MLS. So you're at the EWM. Oh, Andres, you're more than welcome. The more the merrier. Thank you for being here. Do you see here the top 10? I want to make you aware of the top 10 issues. These were currently reported. One of the things that I like to share with you is that the top violation right now in the last couple of months is the failure to update expected closing date. The next one is the no photo. Remember that as per MLS rules and regulations, only one photo frontal view of the property is required to be in compliance. The best practice is to make sure that you at least have one photo. Now, how many of you feel that every property, no matter if it's a plain piece of land, should have more than one? So that this is number 2 is concerning. So if you deal with folks like this, even if the property is coming soon, you can still have the picture. By the way, I want you to know as well that that first photo should always be of the property. There's a huge tendency for people to put that first photo of the signs at the community. And the first photo is actually of the property that's being sold. And if it's a building, it could in fact be of the building. So letting you know. The third one is invalid area. Now, this is a huge violation, right? In Miami-Dade County, just for you to know, the area number is the second set of digits. So 02, this would be the municipality code. And then the third and fourth number, 32, would be the area number. So if you're in Miami-Dade County, you must make sure that you put the correct information. They're getting confused and they put the wrong number as the area number. The fourth, fifth, and sixth have to do with contact information. So using the remarks and internet remarks for inappropriate things. The reason I'm showing this to you is that I'm sure that you guys can go back, or many of the standards of what's happening in offices have to do with you. So contact info and internet remarks, 190 of those violations. Contact info and remarks, URL or email and remarks, URL or email and internet remarks. And the fines can be $500, $750, and $1,000. The eighth one, right? Let me go ahead and make this a little smaller so I can see if you're writing in the chat. The eighth one, updating the status of most transactions. Yes, Andres, so you know there's normally a 2-day rule, 2 business day rules. I invite you. How many of you have taken an MLS 401 or MLS 501 class? Did you know that as admins you can? Would you like me to give you a peek to what we go over there? All righty, we'll do that. How many of you are in fact admins or are you agents? All right, excellent. Have any of you taken the REPA course? We offered it 2 in English and 1 in Spanish this season, and it's a certification for administrators for real estate. It's actually a really cool class. I'm going to give a little glimpse into it while I have you here with me, and maybe you'd be considered joining us the next coming year. But I'm here to also to be available to you, and I want to share with you before I continue. Hi, Tio. This is my email address, and we also have a trainer one. And if you are a member of the association, you have access to Miami Realtors Live. And if not, we have many of our recordings on youtube.com/Miami trainers. Do any of you use those in your offices for trainings? They're available to you there. They're a resource. The eighth one is failure to update status within 2 business days. Now, Andres, you brought up a mention about that, and the majority of our MLS rules revolve around this timeline, and that has to do with a status change. So today is Wednesday, and let's say that you have a property that was active and you need to put active under contract. You would have until Friday to do the appropriate update. That's 2 business days. Why? What's the difference between active and active with contract and pending? We will go over that. Since I'm going to go over a couple of the other things, we will go over that in a little bit of detail. Does that make sense? Would that be great? And I'll show you a little sheet of information, and I'll send you the link via the chat that you guys can actually print out or keep handy. And you can tell your realtors to use it, because sometimes if they would explain to the customer what each status means, it would also help them understand. So failure to change statuses. And then the 9th one is open house information in any remarks field. Open house information should not be put there. There is a place for every listing for you to put public and public virtual, broker and broker virtual open houses. When you do share the open houses and they are broker, they go to a website called miamibrokeropenhouse.com. And if it is public, whether it's virtual or public in person, it goes to South Florida openhousesearch.com, realtor.com, RPR, Remind, etc. Scrolling down, the 10th one is to use or reuse photographs without written permission. You cannot use or reuse photographs without written permission. Just so that you know, Miami offers a preferred photographer program. It is not that we prefer them. It's just that they want to comply and work with you and make sure that they give you non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free, unlimited use of the copyrighted of the photos. So you own the copyright of the photos. If you're interested, you can visit Miami Preferred Photographer Program and get information. Would you like me to share that with you? Let's go ahead and send it to you. That's the page. You can look for the preferred photographer. You can see a video of what it does, and you can get the information in. And if you know someone that may want to participate, you can go ahead and do this here. Now I'm going to click back a second. Those are the top 10 violations. One of the things that I want to show you is, as much as we saw all those violations, I want you to know that from year to date, this is all that's collected. The idea is not to continuously collect. The idea is to work to improve the database and to improve the information that we share in the multiple listing service. So did you see the total year to date? There are 60,000 members, and there are how many listings? That's really not a significant amount, is it? Because some people see that fines and they're like, oh, that's all they want. Andres, am I sending the presentation? No, you have access to it. It's under miamirealtors.com/MLS, and it's right up here. You can see it yourselves. Do you want me to send the link to that? Yeah, I want you to, one of the things that I do discreetly is teach you to navigate the website. Does that make sense? I want you to own your website and own the information that's here. Here is the announcement to the MLS. And then one of the things that I want to talk about is when we take that 401 and 501 class, we talk about utilizing the input forms to better search. But I want you to see here that there is a status change form available to you. This status change form is available in formsimplicity.loop, shared to transaction, etc. And it's to facilitate the process of changing the status. Coming back to MLS, that was right here, the status change form. If you would like to become a member and you're an unlicensed assistant, but you're not a member, you can do so by clicking unlicensed assistant here, and I'll share this. You can become a member as well. And then the next thing I wanted to share with you from here, if you bear with me, let's see. Maybe it's further up. Okay. Definitions of status and property types. When we started to teach a deeper class of 401 and 501, people started to question what is the definitions of the status. This was extracted directly from the rules and regulations that are available on the top of this page. That is a 59 page document. How many of you find that that could be a little overwhelming? So what I requested was for them to extract the status definitions and the property types. So you understand, active means that a property is currently subject to a listing contract and reported to Miami MLS, right? In which the participant has been directed by the seller to set appointments for showings. New construction may not qualify. Seeking agreements of sale to represent the seller, and the listing is on the market and a written offer has not been accepted. That's active. The only other exception to the showing is that the tenant may not want to show, and that's in a lease. Okay. Active under contract, properties in which a written offer has been accepted, but the seller agrees to continue to show the property and accept backup offers. The subcategories of active under contract include, but are not limited to, kick out, third-party approval, attorney review period, and first right of refusal. Canceled, a property in which the listing contract has been terminated prior to the expiration. Closed, properties in which a successful closing has taken place and the title has been transferred from seller to buyer, or in which possession of a property has been transferred from a lessor to a leasee. The agreement of sale has been fulfilled, or the lease agreement has been executed. Coming soon, this is the definition only. Property is currently subject to a listing contract and reported to Miami MLS, in which the participant has been directed to the seller. No agreement of sale is currently in effect, and the listing has not been yet put on the market, as it is being prepared to be on the market. A listing contract has not been executed, but the property cannot be shown. That means you have a listing contract and you have a wait period up to 21 days before the property is available to show and active. Temporary off market means that the listing or the property in which the seller has requested the participant, that means the agent, to temporarily suspend marketing of the property and not set appointments for showing. The listing is expected to come back to the market. Even though the listing is off market, the contract still exists between the seller and the participant. This status can be set for a maximum of 30 days and then automatically returns to active and back on market. For you to understand, when this is sometimes used, temp off market is a couple of years back, we had a hurricane that really didn't hit us hard, but it came through. And then some of the trees, or a tree fell, or you needed to fix something in the home, and then you put it temporary off market, so you don't want to show it in those conditions. And then once the repairs are done, you put it back onto the market. Does that explain itself? Any of this useful so far? I see Andres. Okay. Next is pending. Pending is that an agreement of sale is in effect. The settlement has not yet taken place. The participant has been instructed by the seller to no longer set appointments for showing. A written offer has been accepted and the listing is no longer on the market. Withdrawn. The listing has been withdrawn from the market, but a contract exists between the seller and the participant, and there is no intention to bring the listing back on the market. All status changes must be reported, and here is the 2 business days that we mentioned. Now, there is a property types as well, so residential, multifamily, etc. The reason that I find this one important is that sometimes people say, well, I have a 4-unit, I don't know, a 4-plex. That should be put into commercial. Well, no, here it tells you multifamilies that are 2 to 4 units are considered residential, and that's where we put them in residential income. It explains what land, residential lease, improved commercial, and business opportunity are. I sometimes think these are great things to show not only the realtor, but also the customer, so then they understand what it is that you're putting them in, what category they are going under, etc. Always available here on the website, miamirealtors.com/MLS. And I sent you the link for it, so you should be good. Oh, no, I didn't. Let me send it. Any questions for me so far? Ooh, there's 14 of you. That's great. How many of you already participate from our Facebook admin page? So we'll be sure to send that out towards the end. All righty, so I'm going to come back into our MLS page. Let me click back. And another thing that I want to talk to you about here is this little gem. How many of you sometimes look in the MLS, or your realtor looks in the MLS and you go, what does that abbreviation, what does that thing mean? Well, here we have a field definition page, and you have MLS field definitions by property type. So pick a property type that you would like me to review while I go grab some juice before my throat goes crazy. Tell me or talk to me or list something. Single family. What would you like me to open? A business opportunity. Okay, Carlos, we'll do that one. Okay, so let's look here, business opportunity. You know, we had a great class yesterday in the Coral Gables office. Alexandra will do an RE2 as well, so you can see it. I'm just going to preview it so you guys know what it does. How many of you look, what does that LNDA PR mean? Lender approval. STR is street number. Look. ENVAU, environmental audit. LOCAT, location of property. So how many of you would find this useful? So again, it was on the MLS page, right? And then field definitions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that over here. And by the way, I'm not a realtor. And one of my colleagues, Christy, said, Connie, when I found that, Christy used to be a realtor and she was in charge of an office. And she said, Connie, when I found that, it was like, you have got to be kidding me. A place that actually tells you what those things mean on the MLS. So now let's go ahead. Let's do RE2. I think Alexandra had asked me for that one. And I'm sorry about my coughing, etc. I have the flu. And as George was saying, I did not want to cancel the class. So I hope you're as happy as I am that we're here together. Look, property type, TOTFL, total floors and building. Neighborhoods. Let's see. Year description, year built description. M and live, main living area. Number CPT, carport spaces. Waterfront property, yes or no? So isn't this cool? Park restrictions, parking restrictions. Minimum number of days for lease. Lease year, time leased year. So you have all these definitions to come through. Useful? Only Alexandra and Carlos like. Yes.
One question.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
Let me ask you something. When you are listing a property, usually it asks you a bunch of information, fields to fill out,
Yes.
And there's not one place where you can find everything that you need to put input in.
Of course.
So
yes, there is.
What would be the best way? Because sometimes it's it's kind of crazy.
Look, MLS input forms on the same MLS page on the lower right-hand side, and in form simplicity and dot loop, we have all of these. And these input forms tell you the required field and additional fields that you could fill out. So I'm going to open RE1, and I invite you then to take our MLS 401 class, where I teach you to fill a listing in, and then a goal that we have, and you tell me if you would like to know when we do this. A goal that we have for the first quarter of next year, the 3 Miami trainers, is to create videos on adding listings of different property types and different scenarios. So an out of country listing, an out of state listing, out of area. So we cover Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, and San Lucie in our MLS. But people sometimes will want to put a property in Ocala, a piece of land, and then how to add those. So our goal is, so we've evolved as we've been together as a team, we've evolved, and we listen to you. And that's why these classes are also important to me, and your questions, I value them. It takes some time, but we have that 401 class, MLS 401, that teaches you how to add a listing. Anything in this form that has the red R is a required field. And this mimics everything that you have in the MLS when you add a listing. So you would have area and folio. And a lot of this, if you bring the information from the tax service, auto-populates. But then you have other areas like style. Is it furnished? Year built? Parking description, maximum of 3. Lot description. You have boat services, the view, water access, pool description. Is this what you wanted to see, Andres?
No, actually, I do understand what fields you are required. Okay. And obviously this is like a summary of the whole things, so you can have it on paper. But actually when you, let's say I'm putting up a new listing and I use the tax number, okay, in order to auto fill all the required information. Sometimes it doesn't bring all the information. And so we have to go back into IMAP or other, apps in order to find out the information.
There are some things that you do have to, but in the majority of time, look, if you come into here and to add it, and you add new, and some of you may have access, or you may do this for your office, and you click on the property type, you select the county.
Correct.
And you can put the info here. Please do not contact my aunt and uncle. They're not selling. Come and fill. I've had people do it before. It's very funny. Fill it in. I hope I'm answering your question. I want it active, not coming soon.
Correct.
If they want it coming soon, I do the authorization form and select it and put the go live date here. I click on location and it does bring to me, except for area.
Correct.
In this instance, the folio number, which is here for Miami-Dade County, the first 2 numbers are the municipality code. And the number 3 and 4 are the area number.
Oh, okay.
Did I help you?
Yeah.
Now, these are not required fields, but they're gems.
Correct.
Most
Correct.
people would want to know. So you would have to go and get the address and go into the county school system and see what's the home school for each. And you would come into here, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, this one's Coral Gables, right? Select it.
Mm-hmm.
Select the brand and the information. And then one of the ways to make sure that you've completed it correctly is to click validate.
Correct.
I've completed everything in location, but now my other items need to be completed. So I come to general and I start to fill out what I need.
Okay.
Did I answer you a little bit?
Yeah.
Does anybody
Yeah,
else
it
have
helps.
a question regarding that?
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you something. When you are trying to use the information of an older listing that you had, let's say for the same property, I saw, I've been using an option which says, look for this listing and then use the information when you go into copy listing, correct?
But that
And
will hurt you in the long term because that will not auto-populate with the up-to-date area information, and then
okay.
the square footages will be omitted.
Okay, and let me ask you something. By any chance, if I wanted to use it, I do have, you know, like a listing that I'm going to relist for rent. Okay,
And
and,
what would be the purpose that you would like to fill again? Because of pictures?
correct, but it doesn't allow me to do it, and I don't know if it is because I changed brokers.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
So what I recommend always is to actually start new, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And to use the auto pop, and this doesn't let you use the auto pop. So if it's because of the photos, you should own the photos, and if you have your photos, just add new, right? And
Correct.
do residential rental.
Yeah.
Select it and start so that the square footages are appropriate and they reflect correctly in the system.
Got it.
For your sake.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions like that?
No.
And how many of you would benefit if we took a video for each property type and walked through adding it in? I mean, it's a dream of ours if we had additional time, but we do plan to do it in the first quarter of next year. We've had it in the back burner forever, but time constraint, no? This MLS page has a lot of information. One of the other things besides this one here is I want to talk a little bit about the okay to advertise. I've had 3 people come to class, and if 3 people say the same thing, that means there's this huge perception out there. How many of you have heard of okay to advertise? Does silence mean no? Okay. For it to be okay to advertise, the broker must fill out this info, enter the broker code. If they have several offices, they must do it for every office. And they must allow, right? Yes, no, or whatever. This is broker level. Okay, I'll share this with you guys. This is at broker level. All right. They do that. Then every individual listing agent selects yes, no, broker approval required, right? Or the 2 yeses. So no means no, broker approval means broker approval, and yes, attribution not required means that you do not have to name the listing firm, and yes, attribution required means you have to name the listing firm. But if you go into a listing and the okay to advertise is blank, there has been no agreement. And either the office is not participating or the person that added the listing chose not to include. But if it doesn't have anything, it means that there's no agreement to do the okay to advertise. I'll give you an example. I'll come into Matrix. All right, I have my okay to advertise search. I go into the listing. Some people are assuming that if in this area it doesn't say anything, it's okay to advertise. And that's wrong. If it doesn't say anything, you have to contact the agent in the brokerage. Only if it says something like, yes, attribution not required, broker permission required, or yes, attribution required, is it clear that they're using it the appropriate way and that they've put information in for you to use. But it being blank does not mean that you can advertise. Zillow is now a brokerage. So if they have an MLS, if they have a connection to the IDX, they can show through the IDX the updated listings. Does that answer your question, Andres? So if I have an IDX connected website, I can show the listings in whatever search I have on my page, right? And it will show your listing. The reason is that only active or active with contract listings will show. And they're not advertising falsely. It's connected to the Internet Data Exchange, IDX. It's a really good question. I hope I answered it. Anybody else? Did you know about this okay to advertise? This is a great tool for your agents if they're starting out or if they currently don't have a listing, because they can take a listing like this and easily, right, share it. So let me go ahead and get another one. I have to like the pictures. Are you picking like that? Oh, I love this picture, but is that a picture of the property? No. Let's pick one. This one, okay? We'll come down here and it says attribution not required. And just so that you know, they could copy the listing number, right? And they can simply come into the system and they can use something like Agent 3000. Have you used Agent 3000 or are you aware of Agent 3000? Would you guys like to speak with me?
Connie. Hello. I still have a doubt.
Maria doesn't want to talk to me, but I said, I'm just kidding, Maria. I know you were answering the other question. Go ahead, Andres.
In the case of advertising a listing, but
it's different to share a listing from the IDX, and I want to be clear on that, than it is to advertise. And
yeah,
then,
for example, if I do have my website, okay, and obviously it is linked to the IDX. And so if I take any particular property from the IDX, okay, and I put it into my Facebook page,
that's different. That's different because on your website it's connected to the IDX. Okay. How are you connecting the IDX to Facebook?
Okay, if I put the link into my Facebook to that IDX, property, would that be okay or not?
I have to see what you're doing. I cannot tell you like that. I have to see what it is that you're doing, because here are the rules. Right? And I don't think that from your website you can share to Facebook and it still be connected to the IDX. You could share a link to your website.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but it cannot be to a particular property.
No.
Okay.
Unless it is okay to advertise, like what
Correct.
I have here.
Mm-hmm.
I copy this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I wanted to show you. And by the way, for those of you that are admins, what I'm trying to give you is a glimpse of what realtors could do within the rules, right? And thank you, George, for sending your info again. Much appreciated. So I'm going to come into here into Agent 3000. Agent 3000 is free and it has access to all listings that start with the letter A. I'm going to put here, read later. All of the agents that are members of the association have access here. All of them can come into the settings area and put in their information. So the settings area is that green button at the beginning. They could put their logo and their photo. And the reason I show you this, you can share a link, Tio, from your website to social media, but it's a link from your website. It's not a link to a listing. There's a difference. Okay. Did I clear that?
Okay.
Now, right. What you're doing is sharing, like if you have a page where you have the listings showing, so let's say you have all of your South Point properties reflected. So your South Point searches are there. You would copy the URL for that page and share it onto Facebook, but you're not copying an individual listing from within that page onto Facebook.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you could have another page where you put updates on Brickell, and
Correct.
the people would be able to click, and what you're sharing is the update on Brickell page. And whenever they click on it, they would get the latest and greatest listings that appear on your search for that page.
I saw your email for the newsletter. Did you want me to send out the one that I was waiting until the 1st to send it out?
Thanks,
The one that we are getting printed. Yes.
Let me mute. That was cute. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Am I clear with that? But
Got it. Yeah. Unless it's okay to advertise, I can, I can.
And then I'm showing you a route where it's okay to advertise, where
Correct.
it's still linked to the IDX, right? And then if it's no longer active or active with contract, it would say it's no longer available to contact you.
Correct. Perfect.
But if you go and you post, right, onto your social media direct a listing, it behooves you to following rules to follow if that listing is active or active with contract or changes status, because then you need to go update what you posted.
Correct.
Here.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's why one of the things I teach is in the class, okay to advertise, and I'm glad you guys are participating, is this one. You see how it says okay to advertise, attribution not required. Well, one of the things I teach is you copy the MLS number, you come to the top. You guys can see what I'm doing, right? Print, right? Save as a PDF, and do what? Save the MLS number and click save and save it onto your computer. Why? Because when I click print here, do you guys see the print preview? Let me make sure you do. Now you do. It'll give you the date and timestamp. So on this day, when you were looking to do what? Share the listing, it said, okay to advertise, attribution not required. How many of you have been in the business long enough to know that this is important? So I don't have to say anything else, correct? So I copy here the MLS number, right? And I come into Agent 3000. Once I make sure that the agent has the info in, right, their information, I come and I can do social media tools. There is no record for the association to track changes on the MLS. I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yeah, Connie. Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. I'm sorry, I was trying to swallow my juice.
It's okay. So I was asking, there is no way to track the changes on MLS, meaning, beside the okay to advertising. I mean, we see a property offering 3% commission, and then we are under contract, and then they change it, to 2%. Every time we have to take, a picture.
No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But if you keep track, if you keep your record, then you're clear. I'm not talking about the percentage. I'm talking about the okay to advertise. The changes that they do into the listing, you can go in here into the history and you see the changes when they activated, when there was a price decrease, etc.
Right, but what about the other changes? You know, okay to advertising, commission, or whatever they put on over there, you know, the listing agent put over there.
Well, I don't have an example here because, but they are tracked on that history.
Yeah,
And
so,
the MLS team can see it as well. But I
okay,
am a firm believer. I'm a firm believer on keeping your paperwork.
right, I completely agree. Yeah,
Because all it does is if I'm gonna work on this one and I want to sell it, it takes me 2 seconds to copy that MLS number, to click print, and to save it. And then
right.
have it readily available on when they say something like that, I always have my proof. And
Right, I just asked because just in case, you know, we don't have the proof, you know, we can record to you guys.
you could contact the MLS team, MLS at miamire.com, or that number I gave at the beginning, because they do track changes.
Okay, go.
All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Yet it is the responsibility of who's working on it to do what. I would always keep a copy.
Yeah, no, we have.
Showed you that. This takes 2 seconds, and it can save you for many reasons. Yes or no? So sure. I mean, I'm not saying they don't track it, but I would love to. I like to have my own stuff. So like you said, there's 3% here and they switch it. You would have proof. Oh no, on the day I sent you this is what it said. Now Agent 3000. So, you know, you could use the social media tools, right? And they have a listing collage post for Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. You come in, paste in the number. And since this is connected to the IDX, it connects it. You have the okay to advertise. Why? Because it says okay to advertise in the MLS. You agree. And then you come in and select the photos that you want to use. Create the collage. And share it. Great or no? Easy, connected to you, etc. So they can do this. All right. Yes, Maria did. Fun, different, and so many other options. Now, some people do ask me, Connie, I use Instagram. All righty, so I'm going to come into Matrix. Oh, I'll look for another listing. Let's have fun. Let's look for something. This one. I copy this one. And now this is an option, but this one is not connected to the IDX. Even though I come to Agent 3000 to facilitate getting the photos, I could come in, go to flyers, for photo flyer, use the MLS number. Oops. What I wanted was to remove from here, right? Accept and agree. You can come and start taking the pictures. Right? And then you could choose to not show address. You can choose to have a photo with a profile or QR code. Put your name in. I always take off the first one here. And then if I don't want to use the remarks, I remove it. And I create a JPEG. Now this one, you have the responsibility that you do have to go back in and do what? If I use this image here, right, I right click and I save it. Give me a second. Save image as. Notice that it gives me the MLS number. It's on my downloads, I save it. And then I can come to Instagram. Right. You see, schedule post. No, thank you. Just going to home. Hey, they changed how you schedule, how you post. Or is it me? Oh, here it is. Create. You're enhancing it. Select from my computer. Here it is. Original. And they can share it to Instagram. And then you just click share. Any questions so far? Thank you for the fun to do. So there's different ways that they could share directly from the system. Okay. All righty. Now let's come back to the MLS page. And one more thing that I wanted to show you here is the request for affirmation of presentation of offer. This is a form available again in Form Simplicity and Dot Loop. You can discuss with your broker, but this is a form requesting that it is affirmed that your offer was in fact, or your realtor's offer was in fact presented. Okay, it's on the page. I'll send the link to you, but it is available there. All right, now let's talk rentals. Have you seen a change in the rental world? Anyone seen a change in the rental world? You have not. Some of you have. Yes, there's been a change. So, probably about a year and a half ago, we got a lot of requests of information regarding rentals. Thank you so much, all of you, for asking. And for answering, I'm sorry. I've seen a change in how many rentals there are. And we want you to know, as administrators, that we have heard requests and we have seen the need that you have to be able to know and be on top of what's happening with rentals. I'm going to come 1 second to my PowerPoint here, and I have a renter's packet here. Any of you would like a glimpse at this? Let me go ahead and make it big so it's centered to where you need it. Do you see it there? So here's an idea for a renter packet. Maybe you have your own. Do you have your own? There is a renter questionnaire that you could have. Provide community information, rental info, an agent brochure, restaurant and lodging information, service guarantees, local guides, and an agent's app, something to share rentals with them. Do you want a sneak peek at the buyer packet too? I like Alexandra. She says yes to everything I see. Here's a buyer packet. You can take a picture. How about a pre-listing? I mean, a listing packet. So here's a listing one. No, these are nowhere. Maria, this is me giving you info. That's why I told you to take a picture. So there's a pre-listing one. Take a picture of it. This is part of the REPA class that I offer, but I created one for rentals that was not on there. Make sense?
Connie, can you show the other two, please? The rental packet and the buyer packet, please.
I'm gonna go one by one because this is the first one, the pre-listing.
Thank
Take
you.
a picture. Of course I will. Who is asking?
Theo.
I do. Yes, I will. This is one of my favorite things because I'm going to talk to you about setting up for success. And we'll go back to talking more about rentals. Here's the listing one. Now, pre-listing is probably as important as listing. There's a whole bunch of things that you could ask at pre-listing level. Like you could send an email and ask them, is it a smart home? Does it have any smart devices? What's the alarm system? There's so many things. What's the warranty and guarantee on the appliances, etc. Here's the buyer packet. Are these helpful at all to you? Maybe you already have them, but these are a guide. And then the renter packet. Now, how many of you are assistants and you have access to RPR? All of your realtors could give you assistance to RPR. Because one of the things that I want to show you is a couple of RPR reports that you could run. Okay. And I'm not trying to keep you overtime, but if it was for me, I would keep you till 5. But I know you can't do that. Now, you ready? Can I show you one more thing? How many of you have your cell phone with you? Assistants can be given access to Form Simplicity. The broker can provide it. Short-term rental communities and buildings. It's part of every rental policy. That's tough. Okay, were you guys able to see the article? I invite you to keep this in mind. Affluent millennials are renting more. I like to share that with you because they're a different mindset than generations from before. And this is why the rental thing is such a big deal, along with spiked rental prices. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to remove here and I'm going to just share my screen now. So give me a second. I'm going to come here and we're going to talk about rental. There's a whole page dedicated to rental. And Miami members have access to rental screening services, including RentSpree, Rental Beast, TransUnion, My Rental, tenant screening, and landlord station. Have you guys used any of these? So how do you work with your rentals? Thank you, Teal. Okay, I'm just interested. Good. Legal updates. I like to always keep you informed. Vacant lot scams, RPR. Do not calls. Make sure you have a copyright. And then proposed tenant bill of rights changed for Broward. And then tenants bill of rights in Miami-Dade County. So here's the tenant bill of rights in Miami-Dade County. The county form of notice of tenant rights is here, English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. The county's form of notice of non-renewal and termination of month-to-month tenancy. the county's form for notice of rent increase, the slides that you can share with your office's agents and customers, the landlord-tenant forms approved by Florida Supreme Court, and the link to the minimum housing standards for Miami-Dade. So would you like a link to this? And any of you work Broward, so I send the Broward one as well. Can I ask you, have you are going to take at least one thing with you today? One thing that you could maybe use? And then would you be interested in us having another one of these maybe in February or March? Okay. But you got to come. Because or else they won't let me. Alrighty, let's get you the Broward stuff too. Let's get you the Broward. Alexandra, I invite you to take a 401 and 501 as an admin. You can call in if you're not a member yourself, and they can assist you. Their admins are supposed to be able to take the classes. We would love for you to join us. I would love to get more insight from you. That's why I gave you my email. If there's a topic that you're hearing that you have issues with, or that you would like more info, even if it's not something that we as tech trainers can provide you, we'll go ahead and request from someone else or from the other group. And we're continuously giving. We had the REPA. I had 2 other ones earlier this year for admins like today. And I'm always wishing that I had more contact with all of you. I don't know if you noticed, but we sent out emails to all of those that were registered at the association. And I'd love for you guys to even take an RPR class and an RPR commercial class. So please join us. Okay. Now, of course, Zoe, I need your suggestions. How do you think we got this page up? I'll have you know that that rental page was because 3 or 4 agents contacted the trainers and we were like, something's going on. Because if 3 or 4 people are asking us for some, it means that, you know, it's something's needed or required. And if something's needed or required, how could we possibly not provide information? So yes, please send your suggestion or write it to me right there. And this is the Broward one. Okay. Oh, that's a legal matter. But what do you see as far as that? Addendums to what? I'm pardon, I have the flu. Oh, okay. That's a legal matter. We should, if you could give some examples and email me, I would love it. And then we'll ask if someone like a broker or an attorney could give a class. Zoe, I'm not an attorney or a broker, but we could ask, okay? All right, let's go back to the rental page. Fair housing. Are you aware of fair housing? Okay. Wait, maybe it's something that we could bring up. I'll ask our advocacy team and our legal and see if they can mention something. Okay. We have information here on fair housing. And while we do this, how many of you have ever dealt with or heard of, there's a whole page dedicated to fair housing. I'll share this with you. Are any of you realtor members? Okay. There is a simulation called Fairhaven here. I already took it. I advise you to take it. Anyone else a realtor? I think Andres was, no? Yes, okay. I want to invite, I'm going to take a side note. We'll come back. From the homepage, You could push your realtors to do this. There's a commitment to excellence. Oh, it's not here anymore. Let me see if we have it. C2E. Here's the C2EX page. This is the commitment to excellence certification, and it is still free. You took the simulation. Excellent. Have you taken the C2EX, Andres? I invite all of you to take the C2EX while it's still free. It's a commitment to excellence. It's similar to that Fairhaven where you don't necessarily answer right or wrong. It just teaches you to improve your customer experience and customer service skills. It's to boost your marketability, your professionalism, et cetera. And it's something that you can add to the end of your name. So Connie Nieto / ePro, PSA, and then C2EX. And your 3 Miami trainers have earned it along with the fair housing simulation. And I would like all of you or your agents to at least get it. Okay. Let's come back here. Anybody work with Section 8 or discussed or had issues with Section 8 or assistance animals? All right, well, I'm going to come here to advocacy. And we have a Section 8 area here. There is a 3-hour course for understanding it. All right. And there's fair market rents and information. That's the Section 8. The other page that we have is a click to assistance animals that takes you to HUD. And this is available in English and in Spanish. And it explains the difference and what an assistance animal is and the obligation for the housing provider. I'll send it to you as well. Now, let's talk tenant screening. Come back to the rental page. Click back here. If you want to find that rental page, just come into here, rentals, in the search, and it'll bring you to it. And there's one more thing I want you to see. Nearly half of the US population lives in a rental. These are statistics. 1 in every 3 adults in the US is a millennial. Millennials are 3 times more likely to rent than previous generations. Rising affluence of rentals, rising rents equal greater commissions for the agents. Consider long-term benefits, expand your network, make early connections to first-time home buyers, learn a neighborhood through the rental process, build your online reviews, and become knowledgeable with investors. All of this available down here for your agents and for you to see. Rental classes like this one, the recordings are readily available here on the rental page. And if I didn't send you the link to rentals, I will right here. And then let's go take a peek. When your agents log in, they have access to Rental Beast. They have access to Landlord Station, TransUnion, and My Rental. And they have Rent Spree. 222, where are you? I just saw you yesterday. Rent Spree. So all of these are for tenant screenings. They're easy to use. They do background checks, etc. And they all work on you putting the information for, right, the renter. So you would put their name and their email address, send them a link. They can pay for it. And in 30 minutes or less, you get, or the agent gets, the background check. The only one that has something for us to view is the My Rental tenant screening. and they give you a sample, right? You click on tenant screening. This one's connected to their MLS. And you have the basic version with eviction history, previous address, terrorist check, multi-state criminal, multi-state sex offender. And then you have the premium, and they're at a discounted price. The premium includes all of those with credit report, applicant pay option, safe rent score, average score by geography, landlord acceptance rate. And you click through here, you fill out the information, you continue, you put the applicant details, which is the name and the email address and payment. And this is what I wanted to show you. That here's a sample of one. So it would give you information here, right? For you to submit. Alrighty. And now coming back to this, I want to leave you with something that your agents could create and you can look into. It is called Utility Connect. They can click into here, and this allows them to help whether they're working with a buyer or seller. They can go ahead and create this page and activate their free service. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you can hear it. And here you go.
We partner with agencies in the real estate industry to assist their clients with setting up all their home services and much more. Utility Connect's preferred partnership goes above and beyond to ensure their clients' satisfaction is guaranteed. Now, this service is absolutely free. Who doesn't love free? Utility Connect has over 600 five-star customer reviews online. We don't have to say we're the best. Our clients do it for us. As a preferred partner with Utility Connect, we can brand our services with your company logo to simulate a seamless transition. You'll also receive an admin dashboard. You can oversee your clients and their progress. Your clients will be assigned a dedicated concierge to oversee all their needs until the day of their move and even beyond.
As a Utility Connection agent, my primary focus is to extend your level of customer service and care to your clients. From the moment your client comes in contact with myself or a member of our team, we make sure that their needs are of utmost concern. I personally take care of everything, from turning on their lights, forwarding their mail, or tying the knot with activating home security and automation. Choice is what separates us from the rest. Your client drives the services while I provide professional expertise and advice throughout the process. Your client will receive a full detailed synopsis of all services, account numbers, and rates via email upon completion of the enrollment. We appreciate the opportunity to brighten your client's day.
Now, this is a concierge service. The member can activate it for free. And once they activate it, they click activate. They just put their email address and continue. And then they can create a Utility Connect website like this one that I have here, where they would just add their photo. And what this is good for is it can help them with electricity, TV, internet, phone, security, insurance, gas, movers, and moving supplies, as well as forwarding the email. So whether you're working with a buyer, a seller, or renter, your agent could have the Utility Connect tool easily and convenient to them. And again, that's directly from the Gateway dashboard, the icon here for Utility Connect. Now, could we take a 5-minute break and come back? Is that okay with you? 5 minutes, be back at 11:20. It is awesome. I find it awesome too. I think it's a great thing to have. You could do the forwarding, etc. So 5-minute break. Alrighty, see you back at 11:20. María del Pilar, aún no mando nada. I haven't sent anything yet. I was just waiting for 11:20. Yes, I wasn't speaking, so don't worry.
When accessing Miami Real when accessing Miami
Okay, we're back. One of the things, oh no, I hadn't come back yet. Thank you, Elizabeth. One of the things I wanted to share with you is our YouTube channel. We have a channel available to you, along with our members, and we're very proud so far of all of those that have participated. We have over 8,700 subscribers. If you subscribe, you'll always be notified of the newest videos. There is a video here at the very beginning that we've wanted to make sure to share. It's already had 1,000 views. But what I like about this video is many times your realtor may not know all the places they should initially put their photo. And remember to always update. So I'm going to share this video with you.
miamirealtors.com's page, there are 3 distinct locations for you to add your photo. To get started, we'll come into the Miami Gateway. From the Gateway, we'll click over to the Gateway dashboard, and in the My Miami dashboard area, you have the possibility of adding your photo. Select to update your profile. Click into personal info and photo. You can choose to add files or drop your file in. Click save, and you're set to go.
To add your agent photo to places like your South Florida Open House Search website and the South Florida CommercialPropertySearch.com websites, you want to log into your Matrix system and click on Add Edit, and then drop to Roster, enter your agent ID, and click on Edit. From here, you'll click on Manage Photos, and you want to upload your primary photo that you will use in places like your South Florida Open House Search website each and every time you promote your open house, and for those of you with a commercial listing inside of South Florida CommercialPropertySearch.com.
From your gateway, you can add additional photos, clicking on Matrix. When optimizing your branding in Matrix, your photo is key. We have 4 areas that you should upload your photo. Under your name, click on the downward arrow and click on Settings. Once you click on Settings, you want to click on My Information. The 4 areas you should upload your photo are going to be under Header and Footer, CMA Cover Sheet, Email Signature, and in your Customers Portal, One Home. To get started, let's go ahead and click on Header and Footer. From here, you're going to scroll down, and under Photo, you're going to click Use Custom Photo. Click on the link Upload Photo, which will have access to browsing your computer. From here, you want to click and browse. Choose your headshot and click on Open. Center your image. Once your image is in place, scroll down and save your changes. Now we're ready to add our next image under CMA Cover Sheet. Click on the tab to get started. Click on Upload Photo. Your image will be readily available. Tap on Save. Once your picture is uploaded, click on Save. Now we're ready for email signature. Tapping on Email Signature will give you access. From here, you can add all of your details regarding your signature. But before we do so, let's take the time to add our image. Clicking on the image icon will give you access. Tap on the Select Image button and select your photo. From here, you want to tap on the green button that says OK to add your image. Tap on Save to save your changes. The last area we want to add our image is under the One Home tab. Tapping on One Home will give you access to your photo options. Click on Use Custom Photo, scroll to the bottom, and click on the link that says Upload Photo, which is readily available. Tap on Save and give the system a moment to load. Tapping on Save once more, and your photo has loaded. You have completed uploading your branding with your photo.
Alrighty.
Yes, Chris.
Zoe, when you have a moment, can you look at my computer, my desktop computer, and see if there is one of those little silver?
Alrighty. Let me come back in here. Let me exit that, and just wanted you to know that you had access to all of this. Any questions that you have for me? I think I bombarded you. Alrighty, let's go over some more stuff. You ready? Okay. We're going to come in and we're going to look into the MLS. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. We're going to look into the MLS. We're going to come into Matrix a second. Okay. And that was me adding my listing before. And I want to talk a little bit about this market watch. I'm going to, of course, focus on rental, but everything I show you here, remember that they can do for any property type. Of course, I'm going to put it on rental and put it customized. What this allows you is to watch from that market watch area. Let's say that you work a zip code. Somebody share a zip code with me. So I'm going to clear here and somebody share a zip code that you work in, and I'll put it in. No one? All right, so I'll put one in. 331, let's say 34. And I'm going to click save. And what you're doing here is you're preparing the market watch to be telling you for the last 24 hours, today, 3 day, and 7 day, what's happening in rentals. So you could easily see that there's 17 new, 1 back on market, 16 price decrease, 1 price increase, active with contract, canceled, pending sales, right? Rented, etc. And if you want to quickly know what's happening, all you need to do is click and it'll take you in and you can see the property, right? And you can see the rent price. So using that market watch on the very beginning is very important. Another thing is every realtor gets 10 favorite searches. Every realtor gets 10 favorite searches. They should use these for their farm area, etc. And I always like to teach the okay to advertise. So do you know how they can do their okay to advertise search? Well, if they want to know about all the properties that are okay to advertise, they can do a search, cross property quick, click in there, and then they can leave active, maybe add active with contract. And they need to add on the bottom the okay to advertise. And you can easily do that by clicking on add and remove. And here putting okay, selecting the okay to advertise and adding it in. Once it's in the selected fields, it will be a part of the search and you can come back. And now what you do is you can select yes and yes, attribution required, both of these, or you can select with written broker approval as well. And currently there are 1,314 matches. And you come to results and you can save this by clicking on save, new save search, naming it. And enabling it as a favorite. And what you would do then is click save and it'll appear always on their home page as a search. Okay. That's a great tidbit of information to make sure you have what you need. All right. The next thing I want to talk to you about is some of you said you had access to RPR and some of you said you didn't. If you don't, you can gain your own access to RPR as a assistant. What your agent or broker has to do is come in to the gateway, go into RPR. And in RPR, they have to visit the settings. So once they're inside the system, they can come to the very top, click into settings or profile, scroll down in the profile area. And this is where they add up to 3 assistants. They can create it with their first name, email, first name, last name, phone number, if they have an ID and they understand and accept. And they can add you in. What's great about RPR? Well, for pre-listing, you could do it for research here. And you can get a residential market activity report. You could do a neighborhood search and get a neighborhood report. You could do a school search and get school information, right? On the marketing end, you can create flyers, right? You can see all the reports that you've created, and the reports that you create, just so that you know, stay in the system for 30 days. 30 days. Now, how many of you have ever heard of RPR commercial? And how many of you would like to assist or would like to have a detail on the segments and people and what they do in the area that maybe you're a realtor or you farm? Now I'm gonna need you to give me a zip code. Somebody has to give me a zip code. Don't be shy. All right, we're gonna come to the home page, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna switch from residential to commercial. And when we're here in commercial, let me ask from here. What we're going to do is we're going to come to a location. So I need the zip code from one of you. All right, 33156 it is. 33156. We're going to click on enter. And what we're going to do is once we're here, you could see the different items for commercial that are available. But we're going to come to create report. Even though you're not a commercial or your broker agent doesn't work commercial, this trade area report will give you segmentation, detail, and information for you, and will help you market in an area. When I found this report, we have not stopped sharing it and teaching it because we think it's amazing. So you have the trade area report here, right? And you can include a name if you want to or not, but this is really meant for you, and you run the report. All righty. Let's give it a second while it runs. It's taking 2 minutes. Any questions for me so far? How many of you would like me to post this in an unpublished list and then share with you the link to the YouTube recording? All right. Sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and download the report. And this is the area that you asked me to look into. So I'm going to scroll down. It has that first page. Oh, I forgot to exclude my reports from there. But we're going to talk about here. The median household income in 33156 is $111,000. The median age is 43.8. The population is 34,203. And the first dominant segment is top tier. Percent of households, 45% of the households in this area are top tier. Their lifestyle group is affluent estates, suburban periphery, single family, married couples, right? Average household is 2.8, median age is 48.2. The household's income is 191,000. Medium net worth is $1.4 million. Medium home value is 800,000. Ownership of home is 90%. Employment is professional or managerial, etc. They have grad or professional degrees. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the bless you. And their preferred activities are shop at high-end retailers, frequent vacations that spare no expense, hire financial advisors, consider the internet, radio, and newspaper as their key media source, purchase or lease luxury cars, preferably imports. The second group is Emerald City. It is 12%. It is a middle ground lifestyle group. Metro cities, single family, multi-units, to average household size, average age is 38, right? Their average household income is 73,000. Then you have Trendsetters, Metro Fusion, and Pleasantville. If we continue down, it gives you a complete explanation to each one of these segments. And here it tells you the consumer in top tier Tapestry's wealthiest market earn more than 3 times the average US household income. They have purchasing power to indulge any choice aside from expenses for the upkeep of their lavish homes. Consumers select upscale salons, spas, fitness centers for their personal well-being and shop at high-end retailers for their personal effects. That's just some of the info. And then you have here, neighborhood married couples without children or married couples with older children dominate this market. Housing units are owner occupied with highest home values and the above average use of mortgages. Socioeconomic traits, highly educated, successful consumer market. More than 1 in 3 residents has a postgraduate degree. Annually, they earn more than 3 times the US median household income. They regularly cook their meals at home, attentive to good nutrition and fresh organic foods. Their market profile, just some of it says here, is most shop at high-end retailers such as Nordstrom, as well as Target, Kohl's, Macy's, Bed Bath & Beyond, and online at Amazon. At their level of spending, it makes sense to own an airline credit card. They make several domestic and foreign trips a year for leisure and pay for every luxury along the way. A room with a view, limousines, rental cars are part of the package. Then you have the same for the Emerald City, etc. How many of you like this? Right? This helps you. It's funny that you liked it. I'll share it with you, but it'll be on the recording for you to be able to do it. It is one of those things that we really like. So I'll share that with you here via the chat. I'll share what we did earlier as a photo from Agent 3000, and then my printout that I saved so you guys can have for your record. Other than that, that's what I wanted to present to you today, was to give you an overview, an update, let you know that we'll have another one of these. I don't want to leave without inviting you to our Facebook group. So I'm going to come here to my Facebook page and copy and paste here. If you would like to participate, just simply click through. I will be posting items here. And I try to do so at least once a week. We have 57 members so far. We'd love to have you join us. So just click on the link, and if you're a Facebook user, ask to join. One member new today, I see. Any questions for me? Alrighty, so let me go ahead and give you 1 second. I'm going to share my contact details if you want to save them. Give me a second here. Give me a second while I put it on screen. Yes. All right. So let me go ahead and share that with you. Here's my information. You can just put your phone over it and it'll automatically save it as a contact. If you save it, you have my phone number, email address, my URL, the address to the office, and who I belong to. That's my QR code. I'd love to hear from you. I'm very excited to have so many of you joined us today. I hope you at least take one piece of token information with you. It was a total pleasure to be able to be with you this morning. And I will be repeating in Spanish if any of you want to be repeat offenders. Again, thank you for being a part of Miami Realtors and for having spent the morning with me.
Feel better, Connie. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you all so much for understanding my cough and sniffles. Yes, I hope to get better soon. A big hug to all. See you real soon. Take care.